Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. The title of today's lesson, is Blowing of the Trumpets. Once again, today's lesson is entitled Blowing of Trumpets. Today is the first day of the 7th month. It is October 1st, and today is a Sabbath day. And we are certainly to be at home and to be at rest on this Sabbath day, blowing of trumpets. And this lesson will pretty much cover that holy day. I will read the documentation pertaining to that holy day. So once again, brace yourselves, tighten up your jaws. Do not turn to the left or to the right, or you will get hit in the mouth. We must walk the straight and narrow way of the Most High's commandments. All right. This lesson will begin at Leviticus chapter 23. Leviticus chapter 23, and we will read verse 23 and verse 24. Verse 23 of Leviticus chapter 23 reads, or verse 24, excuse me. Verse 24 of Leviticus chapter 23 reads, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month. Now let's go ahead. Let's start that at 23. Let's start at 23. Verse 23. And Yah spake unto Moshe, saying, now verse 24. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation. So this is a Sabbath day today. You should not have been at work today. We roughly have maybe less than an hour before it becomes dark on the East Coast, before this Sabbath will be over, this blowing of trumpets. Verse 25, Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yah. So on the Sabbath day, we know certainly we're to do no servile work. We're not to go to work. We're to take that day off. And we know certainly that we cannot offer an offering, and for reasons that you should already know if you are within this book, but we still have to observe these laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts the best we can in the nations of our captivity. All right, so we do understand that blowing of trumpets is a Sabbath day, and it's the first day of the 7th month. All right, now let's move over to Numbers chapter 29. Numbers chapter 29. All right, Numbers chapter 29, we'll read verse 1 through verse 6. And verse 1 reads, And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work, for it is a Sabbath. It is a day of blowing of the trumpets unto you. And ye shall offer a burnt offering for a sweet savor unto Yah, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year without blemish. Verse 4. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deal of a bullock, and 2/10 deal for a ram, and 1/10 deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs. Verse 5. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering to make an atonement for you. Verse 6. Besides the burnt offering of the month, and his meat offering, and the daily burnt offering, and his meat offering, and their drink offerings according unto their manner, for a sweet Savior, a sacrifice made by fire unto Yah. So, we see clearly here on this day, there are a number of duties that needs to be done pertaining to not only our daily sacrifices, but the sacrifices that are specific for this holy day. These duties, these sacrifices, etc., are to be done strictly by the Levites, the priest. Okay, so that's so that you're aware of what takes place on the first day of the 7th month, blowing of trumpets. Now let's go back to Leviticus chapter 25 verse 9. Leviticus chapter 25, and we will read verse 9. And verse 9 of Leviticus chapter 25 reads, Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month, in the day of atonement. Shall you make the trumpet sound throughout all your land. So not only are we to blow the trumpet on the day, the first day of the month, but when we're calling our assemblies and the beginning of months, etc., we are to blow these trumpets, and these trumpets are to be blown specifically by the priest. You do not just step out of your house or your tent and blow a trumpet because you have one. Okay? Let's go to Numbers chapter 10. Back to Numbers. It's a very short lesson. Numbers chapter 10, and we will read verse 1 through 10. Numbers chapter 10. And verse 1 reads, And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Make thee 2 trumpets of silver. Of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly, and for the journeying of the camps. So whenever we had to call the assemblies together, and whenever we were journeying as getting up to move, okay, these trumpets were blown to assemble the people together. And these are 2 trumpets made of silver. Verse 3, And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Verse 4, And if they blow but 1 trumpet, then the princes, which are heads of the thousands of Israel, shall gather themselves unto thee. So all the princes that were in charge, okay, because you're in charge of 10, 50, 100, 1,000, etc. So these leaders, the princes, once the trumpet was blown, they would assemble at the door of the tabernacle to receive instruction from Moshe or Aaron on exactly what it is was getting ready to take place, whether we were moving forward or there was something going on within our camps. Verse 5, When ye blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east parts shall go forward. Verse 6, When ye blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. Verse 7, But when the congregation is to be gathered together, ye shall blow, but ye shall not sound an alarm. And the sons of Aaron, the priest, shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations. So the trumpets are being blown by the priest. These are the sons of Aaron. They're not just blown by anyone. An Issacharite can't do it. A man of Judah can't do it. All right, a man of any other of the tribes. All right, Zebulun or anywhere else. You have to be of the sons of Levi. You have to be a priest. And those are the only individuals that's blowing these trumpets, these 2 silver trumpets, okay, for our assemblies, for the beginning of our months, and things of the like. Verse 9, And if ye go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresseth you, then ye shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and ye shall be remembered before Yah your strong one, and ye shall be saved from your enemies. Verse 10, Also, in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginning of your months, ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings, and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your strong one. I am Yah, your strong one. All right. That concludes this very short lesson that covers the first day of the 7th month, the blowing of the trumpets. We were not to work on this day. So if for some reason you went to work on the 1st of October, which is today, if you went to work on this day and you have sinned against the Most High by not keeping his commandment, i.e. what he has instructed us pertaining to his Sabbath day, then what you are to do is, once you return home and you have heard this lesson and you were in error via your job, for you did not know, therefore you have transgressed the Most High's law but you did it unawares. You did it not knowing. So therefore, what you must do, you get on your hands and your knees, you face Jerusalem, you lift your hands in prayer, and you make a supplication for your ignorance, letting the Most High know with your whole heart and your whole soul you have transgressed his law unknowingly, and you ask for forgiveness in that regard. For the Most High is forgiving, okay, and will extend mercy to those who seek it and seek after his ways. So that covers the two silver trumpets and the blowing thereof, and this is only to be done by the Levites. I hope you all that are walking in this laws, in the Most High's laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts, that you are at home at rest, meditating on the Most High's laws, reading the book of remembrance on this Sabbath day, and you did not pollute the Most High's Sabbath day with any of the ways of the heathen. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Peace, Israel. That concludes this lesson on blowing of trumpets. It is a Sabbath day unto us. Peace, Israel, and Yah bless.